Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Eva, and today we are going to be doing a extremely extensive blush video. I have in front of me pretty much, I think, every single blush formula in almost every shade that was launched so far in 2024. So the way today's video is going to go is I'm going to be doing a review and application of every single blush that I have in front of me. And then at the end, I'm going to give out some awards. So I'm going to kind of do this like superlative style. I believe State of Kate has done this on her channel before. I'm not the one to invent it, but I knew it'd be impossible for me to really rank these like from 12 to 1 being the best. So instead we're going to give out some awards at the end, like best multitasker blush, best blush for on the go, just some of those examples. So if that sounds of interest to you, would love for you to keep on watching. And if you are not already subscribed, please subscribe. It really helps me out. And then also follow me on Instagram. I will put it up on the screen. On Instagram, I do other short form content and short reviews that don't always make it to my YouTube because of time. If this is your first time watching, you might be horrified by all the blushes, but if you've been to my channel before, you probably know that I am blush obsessed. Blush is my favorite makeup category by far. I just think it's so fun playing with different textures, different undertones, etc. And 2024 has been the year of the blush so far, and the lip products. But I mean, blushes have just been launching right and left. Rare Beauty announced that they are going to be launching new blushes next week, so I will definitely be picking those up to review. But yeah, tons of blushes, so let's get into it. The first one we're going to be talking about is the Polite Pops Powder Blush Stick from the brand Polite Society. Now, this brand launched at Ulta in the new year. It's from Jared, I think Blandino, maybe I'm saying the last name wrong, the founder of Too Faced, and this is his other brand. There haven't been other products from the brand that I've been interested in picking up. I've swatched a few things in the store in Ulta and nothing really caught my eye. But when they launched these cute little blushes, I was very intrigued. So let's talk about the price point as well as the claims. I have the Ulta app over here on my right-hand side like I normally do. So these retail for $28, and the claims are that it is an innovative hybrid texture, blendability of a cream with a soft diffused look of a powder, soft matte finish, foolproof and easy to apply on the go, lightweight, buildable, etc, etc. Now, this is what the packaging looks like. So it comes in this cute little, I don't know, like pocket size little container, and inside is the product. Now, I picked up the shade Sydney. I'm gonna do a hand swatch for you. And this is what that shade looks like. And I have to say, the texture of this product is really interesting. When I applied it for the first time, I hadn't read the claims that it was a cream to powder formula. And so my first impression when I was applying it was, oh, this is a little bit stiff. I'm used to a lot of blush sticks being super creamy, and this one was not. Now that I understand the claims, it makes a lot more sense. Even on my hands, the formula is super interesting. Even though it is a cream, it really does transform into a powder, and it is totally a matte blush. So all the claims are there. I really like this formula. I was super surprised because I didn't know what to expect when I picked it up, and I just find this formula to be really interesting. I can't think of another, off the top of my head, another cream to powder blush product There are a lot of like cream to powder bronzers. If you think of any, let me know in the comments below, but off the top of my head, they're not coming to me. Even though I already have this applied, I do want to apply a little bit more to build it up more so you can really see the color. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in, and then we are going to apply more of the shade Sydney. I keep saying I'm going to zoom you in more, forgetting that my camera is all the way zoomed in. So ignore that. So we are going in with Sydney, and I found for this that I had no problem applying it directly to my face. I didn't need to apply it to a brush first. Some products I like to apply to my hand first. This one I had no problem at all. Just swiping it on. God, this color is absolutely gorgeous. And then to blend it out, I used my BK Beauty 101. Found out about this brush. It's a foundation brush, but found out about the magic of this for cream products from Kaki. Reviews Beauty, if you watch her, and I actually have a code with them, so I will have that linked down below if you're interested in picking up this brush. And look how easy this is blending out. Like, I am really excited about this formula, and specifically this shade. Like, look at that. So pretty. The one thing that I will say, like the one knock against them in the claims is they're like, it's good for on the go. Because of this texture and the formula, I don't think it's the easiest thing to blend out on your fingers. Like, you really want to actually use a brush. So even though it's cute in pocket size, I would say it's not really an on-the-go blush application unless you have a brush, which in that case, it's not really on the go. So overall, loving this formula, and I definitely think I'll be picking up, I know it's an oxymoron, I definitely think I will be picking more of these up at some point at Ulta, if they ever go on sale or next time there's an Ulta 20% off coupon, because this formula, just so flattering. I also want to mention that because it is that matte formula, it's not emphasizing my texture, not emphasizing my pores, just all around really great new blush launch. Next, we're going to talk about SPF blush launches. So I have two in front of me. One of them technically launched last year, but they came out with a couple new shades, one of them being one of the ones I'm going to talk about. And then we have a brand new SPF blush launch. So the new one is from Nudestix, and this is the Nudestix Nudescreen Blush Tint SPF 30. And I know sometimes people I'll see on social media will criticize, like, what's the point of an SPF blush? Like, you need to apply SPF all over. Like, obviously you apply it all over. The point is that it's makeup that will further help protect your skin. So I don't really understand the hate. No one is claiming that this alone is going to protect your skin, but when you're putting makeup on over sunscreen, it actually reduces the effectiveness of sunscreen. So being able to top your complexion with a product that has SPF isn't going to hurt, it's only going to benefit you. So I just wanted to mention that. Now, this product released in, I want to say 5 shades, and let me check the price point on this guy. So this retails for $30, and I was correct. There are 5 shades. I picked up the shade Pink Sunrise, and then I'll insert arm swatches in a little bit. And I have been testing this blush. I should also mention, none of these are first impressions. I have been testing these blushes for pretty much a month now to give you my honest, extensive thoughts. And this one, I'm just going to come out and say, I do not like this. I do not like this product. I'm going to apply it now, and I think you might be able to see just how, like, it's kind of goopy and difficult to blend. It's very watery. I don't like hate it. Like, I'm still going to use it, but it's not one that I really would recommend. So let me go ahead and blend this out. my struggle with this product is because it's so liquidy, I find that it like spreads so much on the skin that it just really like builds up all over as opposed to being able to concentrate it. Now that's like more of user error. I'm sure if I was more careful and just applied a little dab, used a tiny brush, I wouldn't have that problem, but that's not how I'm going to apply a product. Like, I'm going to be sloppy with it. I'm going to be quick. I'm not a patient makeup person. So for me, this product didn't work out because it's, I don't know, it's like almost too liquidy, and it has a pretty finish, but I just found that it's kind of difficult to work with because of that. If you are really precise with your makeup, you might like this, but for me, like, I don't know, I don't love it, especially when there's another incredible SPF blush on the market, which is what we're going to talk about next and what we're going to apply on this half of my face. And that is the Ciele Blush and Protect SPF 50 liquid blush. Now, Ciele, I think, is one of the most exciting brands on the market. All their products are SPF based. They're carried on their own website and Sephora. I have all of their products to date except for the new contour that they launched with, which I will be picking up during the Sephora sale. But this blush is in the shade January, and this blush, it applies just like any other liquid blush. You wouldn't know that there was SPF in it at all. I am going to dab 3 dots of this January shade on my face, and then we are going to blend it out. Just cleaning off my brush on a microfiber towel. Oh, just so beautiful. I only did like 2 taps and I feel like it's blended. And I applied it with just the same amount or lack of, I applied it with the same lack of precision that I did the Nudestix one, and I'm not having any of those problems with it being too liquidy and spreading too far on my face. And it just has such a beautiful glow to it. It's not overly dewy. I don't feel like it's completely matte. I want to say it's really right there in between. And I love that it's SPF 50. Like, SPF 30 is kind of just meh. Like, I pretty much only wear SPF 30 if I'm only going to be indoors. Like, I'll wear that if I'm only going to be inside. I'm not going into the office. I'm just completely indoors. Otherwise, I aim for a 40 to 50. So I love that this one is a 50 SPF just for that added protection, especially for where you're applying SPF, just getting it along here, you know, close to the eyes, areas where a lot of wrinkles form. It's nice to have that additional sun protection. So this one is completely a winner. Again, the Nudestix one, thumbs down for me. And I'm going to go ahead and insert arm swatches now. I'm going to swatch the Nudestix blush next to January from Ciele, and then I have maybe 1 or 2 other Ciele blushes that I will include in the swatches as well. So if you already have some of those and you want to see how January compares, that will hopefully help you understand what that tone looks like. Okay, so here we have the Nudestix SPF blush in the shade Pink Sunrise. You can really see just how thin it is and how runny it is compared to the Ciele products. So here we have January, which is the one we tested out today. And then we have Bahati. And then here we have Christy. Either Christy or Kirsty. Let's take a break from the cream and liquid blushes for a little bit and talk about some new powder blushes. So Guerlain released their Terracotta blushes. I picked up 2 shades. I picked up shade Nude 00, and then I also picked up the shade Rose 01, which is the shade Light Pink. Now, these retail for $55, so definitely in the luxury price point for sure. One thing I want to immediately come out and say is this packaging is unacceptable. Like, for $50, for it to be in these flimsy, lightweight little compacts, no, not okay. Especially when you have the Gucci blushes that are $50, so $5 cheaper, and come in the most luxurious, beautiful packaging. So right off the bat, I want to say that's a huge disappointment, and I just really get annoyed when luxury brands skimp on packaging. I don't care if a drugstore or a cheap indie brand skimps on packaging, but for a luxury one, when you're paying for luxury, for it to come feeling so lightweight and flimsy, like, honestly, I feel like an e.l.f. blush has more weight to it than these. So right off the bat, that really frustrates me. And it's kind of unacceptable in my opinion. But now let's talk about the product. First thing to mention, another unacceptable thing, these are scented. These are fragranced. These are fragranced. Like, I mean, I'm assuming this must be some sort of Guerlain perfume. It's a floral. It's a floral fragrance. Oops, I just wiped my nose in the powder. It's floral, so immediately I don't like that also. So another thing against it. One thing that is interesting is there is a little hole in the back. So I believe you can actually pop these out if you wanted to put these in a magnetic pan. Excuse me, like, you know, like a Z palette or something, which, like, okay, I guess that's kind of nice, but maybe they did that because they know their packaging is so ugly that people are maybe going to want to like repackage it in something else. But anyways, let's talk about the formula. So the formula is really nice. The packaging sucks, they smell weird, but the formula itself is really pretty. It is a really nice, buildable, matte blush. We are going to apply them right now. So I'm going to do one on each cheek so you can compare the colors. So I'm going to apply shade 00 Nude. Light nude, excuse me, it's actually light nude. I'm going to apply that on this side of my face, and then we'll go in with the other one on this side of my face. To apply, I'm going to take my Reformulated 04 brush and just go in. I guess it's like nice that there's like a little mirror, but whatever. And this shade is really, really pretty and subtle. This is a really, really great everyday shade if you are super pale like I am. It is beautiful. It is really buildable and it's really flattering. Like I do feel like when I'm applying it, it's kind of covering my pores really nicely. And yeah, it's pretty and I like the shade. Now let's go in with light pink. I'm gonna clean my brush. And if you want to see like a more extensive video with more comparisons, I'd recommend checking out Sophia C's Beauty or Lexi John's video. I will have one of them linked up here if you want a more in-depth like swatch comparison with these blushes compared to other luxury blushes. If I did that in this video, we would be here for 5 hours because we have so many blushes to get through. Okay, so here are the blushes on my face. Right side is that light pink shade. Nude is on my left side. If I'm being honest, like, I don't notice a ton of difference. I mean, the light pink one definitely has more pigment, but if you're interested in these, I would say just pick up one. As far as preference, if you are pale, I think that nude shade is really, really pretty. I mean, they're both pretty, but I think that nude one is just that perfect, super natural, everyday cheek color blush for going into the office or for when you really want like a no makeup look. The pink one's pretty, but if I were to just recommend one, if you are fair skinned, I would say go with the nude. I'm going to insert arm swatches here. Here we have the Guerlain Terracotta blushes. Sorry, a weird sweater fuzz. So here we have that shade 01, which is light pink. And then here we have that shade 00, which is nude. So this one is really, really, really faint, whereas the pink one, you have a little bit more pigment, obviously, but this one really is a really pretty subtle shade. Another new powder blush that launched this year is from r.e.m Beauty. Now, I'll save my comments about what I think about Ariana Grande and keep those to myself, and we'll just focus on the blush. But these launched, I want to say last month. These retail for $20. They come in 8 shades. They're available on the r.e.m site, and they're also available at Ulta Beauty. I say r.e.m Beauty. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced because it's r.e.m, but sometimes people call it r.e.m Beauty, but I think it's r.e.m Beauty. But these are the, what are these actually called? Let me pull up the name and the claims of these. So these are the Hypernova Satin Matte Blushes. And the claims are that they apply without streaking or skipping, they blend effortlessly into skin, they layer well over makeup, they wear comfortably, leaves a soft focus matte finish, blurs, provides a healthy glow, mattifies without drying, soothes and softens. Okay, those are a lot of claims. Let's talk about, first off, the packaging. Okay, so for me, this is cool packaging. Like, this might not be for everyone, but at least they're trying to do something. Compared to Guerlain, like, honestly, they have around the same weight, and this one is more than double the price. I like this packaging because I think it's fun, I think it's youthful, and I like that it has this like little window so you can see the color. I love a good pan embossing. I love an embossed pan, and I love this. They have like little waves that kind of remind me of, like, I don't know, like Texture on a Planet. Her whole line is very like space oriented. So the packaging I think is great. I think the price point is fantastic. I mean, $20 for a blush at Ulta that is not drugstore, I think is a very fair price. Drugstore makeup prices are getting out of control. So the fact that this is a $20 blush from a masstige, I think that's the term. Yeah, it's like, it's not quite prestige, but it's masstige brand, is very, very fair. Let's talk the formula. So I really like these blushes. I've been testing them out. I'm going to apply all 4 of the shades that I have on my face, and the claims I find to be really accurate. It's a super, super silky, smooth blush. I would say the formula of it reminds me a lot of the Guerlain ones without the fragrance and the high price point. So let's go ahead and talk about the colors that I picked up. So I picked up the shade Skinny Dipped, which is, I'm going to go through the shade descriptions, and then we'll of course do arm swatches and cheek swatches because you guys love the cheek swatches. So Skinny Dipped, it's currently sold out on the Ulta site, so people love this one, is described as a soft, warm, toned pink. I also picked up Pinking of You, which I love these pink blushes. I just can't stop hoarding them. So this one is described as a soft, cool toned pink. So think of the Dior Viral Blush. That's the type of shade that this is. And then we have the shade Peach Planet. And this is described as a soft peach. And then the final shade I picked up is Rose on Mars. And Rose on Mars is described as a soft rose. I also really liked that when they launched these first 8 shades, there's a nice variety of depth and tones. There are some really bright colors, some really wearable colors, etc. So I thought they did a really good job. I'd love for them to launch like a really, really light nude shade and then like a purple blush. I love a purple blush. But for the shades in a first launch, big thumbs up from me. Now let's go ahead and get these applied on the face. For application, I'm going to be going in with my Reformulated blush, angled blush brush. And first we're going to go in with that Pinking of You shade. And we are going to do one on each cheek. So there's no kick up whatsoever when you pick these up, like at all. Let me get my mirror. Super pretty. Oh, this is a very wearable bright pink in my opinion. Sometimes some of those bright pinks or those cool tone pinks are just too much, but this one is so beautiful and very, very wearable and subtle. So here is Pinking of You. And then on my left side of the face, let's go in with Peach Planet. I'm gonna kind of try to do like two of the brighter shades that I picked up and compare those. And I took this with me on a trip last week and I love this one. And I have to say the claims of these being smoothing are really accurate. Like I'm getting that same effect on the cheek that I had with those Guerlain ones. So here we have Peach Planet. I'm going to go ahead and remove these and reapply my foundation, and then we will go in with the other two shades. Continuing on with our r.e.m. beauty swatches, we are going to do Rose on Mars. So pretty. We're going to do that on the right, or my right cheek. Oh, these are so freaking pretty. When I do the arm swatches, I will include the two Guerlain blushes, so you can kind of see which one of those are similar, if any of them are similar to the r.e.m. beauty, because I'm telling you right now, get these and not the Guerlain ones. These are excellent. Okay, that was a very quick application. I didn't even really use the mirror, but these are so easy to use. And this is Rose on Mars. And then we have Skinny Dipped. I mean, these are just so freaking easy to use. Again, I'm not even using a mirror, and well, now I am, but it's not really necessary. Okay, so these, no, they look different. At first I was gonna say they look the same, but they're different. So we have Skinny Dipped, and then we have Rose on Mars. Okay, we are gonna do arm swatches, and then we're gonna move on to the next blush launch. We have a ways to go. I'm gonna be filming for several hours. We have a ways to go. So get a snack, get dinner, get some Uber Eats, get some coffee, and please keep on watching. Okay, so here we have the r.e.m. blushes here, and then the two Guerlain ones down here. So we have Skinny Dipped, Rose on Mars, Pinking of You, Peach Planet, and then we move into Guerlain, and we have the pink shade 01 and then the nude shade 00. Oh, and sorry, this was a swatch from r.e.m. Beauty earlier. Ignore that one. We're like not even to the halfway point as far as blushes go. We have so many more, but we are going to keep going. Next up, we are going to talk about the Kaja Dewy Bars. So these retail for $25. There are 4 shades on the Sephora site, but then there are other shades on the Nordstrom site, and then additional shades on the Kaja site. So I don't know what's going on with that. But these claim to be, let's start by going over the claims. So these claim to be a blush and lip balm. So that's important to note. And they claim to be a hydrating blush and lip balm multi-stick that effortlessly melts onto cheeks and lips to create the perfect flushed and dewy look. Okay, I have to tell you right now that I was blown away by this blush. Blown away. I wore it last week when I was in New York for work, and I had it on from like 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. I was, after work hours, I was doing 20,000 steps. I was bopping all around. It wore absolutely beautifully, and it is gorgeous on the lips. So let's get into it. The shade I picked up is the shade Fig Smoothie, but I loved it so much that I picked up more shades. I don't have them yet, unfortunately, but I picked up more shades because this formula is magical. You can see it's super dewy. And when I first applied it, I was really scared that it would be too dewy and sticky to the point where like my hair was getting stuck. Nope. You do not need to worry about that. So there are a couple ways to apply this. Like you could apply it with a brush first, like tap the brush on here. The way I like to apply it is I kind of just angle it and then just kind of dab. I really like the shape of this, by the way. Like, I think it's smart to come out with a blush, like a stick blush, a cream blush that is kind of in the shape that you would want to apply it to the face. I don't know. And now for the lips. Okay, I will say it gets a little tricky applying it to the lips, so I don't know. I kind of wish maybe, now that I think about it, no, whatever, it's fine. But it's a little tricky when applying to the lips, but on the lips, it is absolutely beautiful. This is a true multitasking product. I feel like so many products claim to be cheek and lip, but then they look terrible on the lips. This is beautiful. If this were in a lipstick, I would buy it as a lipstick because that's how good the formula is. Also, this one does have a slight fragrance, but it smells delicious, unlike the Guerlain ones. I don't know why I'm struggling to place it. I want to say it's like slight peach. It's not overwhelming though, like at all. And I have sensitive skin, and this didn't, the fragrance in this did not bother my skin. Okay, so now for the blend, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to blend out. First, let's like start with the hand. I'm just going to show you, like, you guys, look at that. Blend it out so easily. Now for the face, I mean, boom. Boom. Amazing. Amazing. Absolutely beautiful. It has that dewy finish like it promises, but it's not sticky. Like it's not, I don't know, I'm trying to demonstrate if it were windy, it wouldn't be that, it's not that sticky. Like it's not a problem whatsoever. And it also doesn't emphasize pores, which some dewy blushes do. It's just beautiful and natural looking. I am going to actually apply a tad bit more. And what I also want to do, okay, because I want to see how this blends out with my fingers to determine if this could be a great on-the-go option, because this is one that I would want to take on the go because I like the lip product and I love a monochromatic look. But in order for it to be eligible for a good product for on the go, it has to be one that you can easily blend out with your fingers. Oh yeah, this is blending out beautifully. I actually kind of like it better with the finger blend out because it doesn't remove as much of the product and you get more of the pigment. Absolutely, positively obsessed. And again, this is the shade Fig Smoothie. I don't think this one is on the Sephora site, but they have 4 other shades. So this one blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. I'm gonna go charge my camera for a little bit because I've been filming for so long that it is dying. And then I will be back and we will finish up with this marathon of blush swatches and reviews. We are back. Before I move into the next formula, I did want to insert a swatch here comparing the Polite Society, like matte to powder blush stick, to the Kaja Dewy Bar, so you can really get an idea of the finish difference between the two of them. So I will insert that clip here. Here we have the Polite Society matte to powder cream blush, and then here we have the Kaja Dewy Bar, and you can just see how different the finish is. I didn't blend out either of them. So something that's interesting about the Polite Society one is it kind of just already has like a blurred look when you apply it. So wanted to contrast those two finishes and formulas. Now we are ready to get into the next blush formula. Next up, we are going to be talking about Basma. Now, when these blushes launched, a lot of people on social media were saying they'd never heard of the brand. Okay, I have to tell you that they have an amazing foundation stick that launched at Sephora maybe last year. So definitely be sure to check that out. One to give that a shout out. It's great if you have dry skin. But now for the blushes. Let's talk price point, shades, and claims. So the Basma cream blushes retail for $28. They come in 6 shades. I picked up 3 of them. Something that I really like about the way the brand chose to like photograph the products on Sephora is they kind of have like recommendations for your skin tone. So they recommend for light, they recommended bubble pink, mauve, and peach, which are the 3 I picked up. And then they have a recommendation for medium, tan, and deep. So I thought that was helpful because sometimes the swatches, like arm swatches, especially on the Sephora site, you can't really like get a totally great idea of if it will work for your skin tone. So I like that they had those recommendations. Now for the claims, reading from the Sephora site. So it is a buttery soft, buildable cream blush and lip tint that melts into the skin for a naturally radiant finish. So I used one of these in my recent like trying new makeup video. I will have it linked here. And I loved it. I was blown away by the formula, the ease of use of the product, etc. Let's quickly touch on packaging. So the packaging comes in this pink tin that has the brand name embossed here. And then you just pop it out and then slide it back in. Kind of like a matchbook, little similar. So let's talk shades now. So this is the shade Peach. Then we have the shade Bubblegum Pink, which is very, very light. I haven't worn this one yet, this particular shade, so I'm interested to see how that one looks. And then we have the shade Mauve, which I have worn several times and I absolutely love. Now, this formula is just really, really beautiful. It's very creamy, I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's dewy without being too dewy, if that makes sense. Like it's slightly less dewy than the Kaja Dewy Bar, but it's definitely a glowy, dewy blush. So if you don't like a glowy, dewy blush, you will not like these, but if you do, you will love these. Let's go ahead and get these on the face. I am going to first apply Mauve, And the way I like to apply these is just with my BK Beauty brush, but any sort of dense angled brush will do. So pretty. Didn't do a great job blending, but I just really want to focus on building up the color so you can see it. So this side we have mauve. Now I'm going to clean off my brush and then let's go in. Let's do that bubblegum pink next because I am very intrigued how this will look. First, I'm going to swatch it. Okay, yeah, this is really, really light pink. The white base is pretty strong in it. So I'm interested to see how this one looks. It's definitely a pastel pink. Oh, okay, that is pretty. Really building this one up. I'm gonna look in the mirror and assess how this one looks. Okay, I applied too much, but it's really pretty. And these blend just so easily. Like, I mean, I barely had to put in any work. It didn't do the best job blending, but these are super, super easy to work with. So here we have bubblegum pink. And then on this side of the face, we have mauve. So mauve and bubblegum pink. I'm going to remove one side of my face and then we will apply the last shade that I picked up and then we'll move into arm swatches for these blushes. And as always, I will have all the other makeup that I'm wearing linked down below in the description. I'll also have my earrings if I can find them, headband, etc. Just want to mention I will always link those down below. Okay, so we have complexion reapplied on the right side of my face. Now let's go into peach. Super, super pretty. It is, I would say it's more of a pinky peach than just like a pure peach. So it definitely leans pinky. Just going in. I would say this is also, I want to mention, it's a little bit more of a stiffer cream blush, which I kind of like because it means it's like difficult to pick up too much product. Sometimes when a cream is too soft, I find that you can just pick up way too much on your blush and go absolutely out of control. So this is the shade Peach. Before we move into arm swatches, I actually wanted to mention similarities in the formula between the Makeup by Mario like blush bombs, and then ColourPop has a blush balm as well. And these remind me a lot of more of a blush balm because they are really buildable and they're a little bit stiffer. So if you like that Makeup by Mario blush formula, I will have what I'm referencing linked down below. You like the ColourPop ones, I think you'll really, really like this because again, it is super, super buildable and it's really hard to mess this product up. Like it's pretty idiot proof, as I like to say. So here we have the Basma blushes. I just did one swipe for each so you can kind of see how lightly pigmented they are, which means they're really buildable. So here we have peach, here we have mauve, and then here we have bubblegum pink. We're going to go back into the powder blush category. And next up, we are going to be talking about the newly relaunched Haus Labs blushes. Now, let's just, I just have to bring up how ridiculous the shrinkflation is with this product. So this is what the product looked like when it launched last year. And this is the product now. So the previous product was 11 grams, and I believe it was $38. The new one is 5 grams and it is, let me check, I believe it's $32. So I will do the math and put it on the screen as far as how much you're paying per gram. And I'm not saying that a blush needs to be this size, but it is kind of shady in my opinion to relaunch it just to shrink the size down. My understanding is the formula is exactly the same. I haven't noticed any formula difference, so it was kind of just a way for them to shrink the size of the product, very similar to what Milk Makeup did with their bronzer sticks. I talked about this before, but these are the exact same price. Milk just relaunched them and shrunk them down. At least in this case, the blush is like $6 cheaper, but mathematically, you're still paying way more per gram than you were previously. So that's just something I wanted to get out of the way and address because that's just ridiculous in my opinion. Like, I know inflation is happening, but in my opinion, a lot of these beauty brands are taking advantage of it and increasing prices way more than necessary, because if you look at brands like Rare Beauty, their prices have barely gone up. They've gone up like $1. Like Victoria Beckham Beauty, some products have gone up $1, but some of these brands, I don't know. I don't know. It's a little suspicious. But all that being said, I've talked about these blushes before. Actually, my very first video on YouTube a year ago was my review of the Haus Labs blushes. So I will have that linked up here if you want to go back and look at that first video filmed on my iPhone. That will give you a better idea about the formula. But I mean, these are great, you guys. These are great. They're so silky. They're so smooth. The shades are great. I do want them to come out with more shades. Right now there are, let me check. Right now there are 6 shades, and when they relaunched them, they relaunched the original shades and then launched 2 new ones. So I do have the 2 new ones that I'm going to be talking about. And then I do now own I think every shade now. That's how much I love this formula. So that's definitely a testament to that. So the 2 new shades are French Rosette and Fire Moon. Let me talk about the description of the shades. So Fire Moon is described as a beige peach, and then French Rosette is a neutral rose. Something I do really love about the relaunch with the packaging is I love that they now have the color of the product on the outer packaging in this really nice soft matte. Something that did kind of drive me crazy with the original packaging is like just how dirty it gets because it is that mirrored. I mean, of course, having more product is always nice, but I do think removing the price factor from it, I do like this relaunch. I think this size makes more sense than the packaging does. I just think the price point should have been a lot lower, all things considered. Okay, now for shades, I'm going to go ahead and apply French Rosette on my right side, and then we will do Fire Moon on the left side. I'm not going to do cheek swatches for every single shade of these because I have another video doing swatches of the majority of them, and then I'll also insert arm swatches. But if you are interested in me doing a video dedicated to these blushes and doing cheek swatches of every single shade, let me know in the comments below. Would be more than happy to do so. But let's go ahead and go into French Rosette. Of course, now I can't find the Refer brush I was using earlier, but I'm going to use the Four Face 3 brush from Patrick Ta and use the powder side. And these are very pigmented, so you just have to be careful when applying. I'm always going to over apply when I'm on camera filming so you can really see the color. Oh, this color is so pretty. Okay, so this is the shade French Rosette. And then on this half of my face, we are gonna apply Fire Moon. I don't know how this is gonna look on me. I kind of think this is one that when I'm fake tanning, it's gonna look nice, but right now I have a feeling it might pull a little too warm, but we will see. On the arm swatches, they looked kind of scary, but that's why I do cheek swatches, because products look different when they're actually on your face. Ooh, that's pretty. That's so pretty. Okay, so this is the shade Fire Moon. Ooh, these are so pretty. Whoa, okay, I love both of these. I'm shocked by how much I love Fire Moon. I wasn't gonna pick it up, but then I ended up picking it up. I'm glad I did because I think it's really, really pretty. And in the summer, when I have a little more of a glow, I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful. I would say for like everyday wear year round, French Rosette is going to be more wearable. So if you're on the fence between the two, I would say that. But if you are a little bit tanner, you'll definitely want to pick up Fire Moon, in my opinion. But they're both so, so pretty. Absolutely beautiful. So these are a really silky blush. I mean, you've heard so much about these, I'm sure. I do think they're worth the money. They're really nice. They're a victim to shrinkflation, but I'm just glad we have some new shades. I will go ahead and insert arm swatches now of my entire Haus Labs blush collection so you can see what they look like. And again, let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a dedicated video swatching all of the shades on my cheeks. Here we have the Haus Labs blush swatches. We have Peach Pomelo, we have Fire Moon, French Rosette, Dragon Fruit Days, and then we have Watermelon Bliss, followed by Hibiscus Haze. So I would say they're all pretty unique. The only ones that are like somewhat similar are Peach Pomelo and French Rosette, but I would say French Rosette is definitely rosier than Peach Pomelo. They're just the closest ones in the lineup, but I would say if you own one of these, unfortunately, it means you can own all of them because they are different enough, in my opinion. We have just a few more, maybe like four more blush formulas to go over. So we still have a ways to go, so thank you for sticking with me. Next up, I want to talk about the new launch from LYS Beauty. I'm not sure if it's Liss Beauty or LYS Beauty, but this is a brand that I like bought almost pretty much their entire line when they first launched a couple of years ago. And I have just been so impressed with their product lineup. My favorite product from them is by far their Satin, the high standard Satin Matte Cream Blush. These blushes are one of my absolute favorite cream blush formulas because they go on super creamy, but then they are a beautiful matte finish. So when I saw that they were going to be launching Glow Blush Sticks, I was very, very excited. Now, these retail for $20. Super fair price point in my opinion. And let me pull up how many shades they come in. I believe they have a couple of additional shades exclusive to their website, but at Sephora there are 5 shades. And the claims are that these are an irresistibly creamy blush stick that instantly brings a flush of color to the cheeks with an illuminating finish. So the biggest difference between these and then their existing cream blushes, these are a matte formula and these are a glowy formula. So I did want to mention that. I have been playing with these and I really, really like them. They are just as blendable as their matte formula, but they have that nice glow, which is beautiful for summer. I guess I picked up all 5 shades. Also, side note, save your Sephora points. Just PSA, not TSA, PSA, save your Sephora points. Don't use your Sephora points for those rinky-dinky little tiny samples. Save them to get the $100 Sephora gift cards. I use that for these and the Basma blushes. So I just want to mention that. Don't waste your points on the little samples. Anyways, okay, so I picked up all 5 shades. And so far I've worn one. I wore the shade Curvy, but let's talk about like the packaging, the product. It is a nice iridescent pink outer packaging. Let's see if this picks up. It does. And then you have this triangular shape, which is kind of different, which I don't mind that. I don't mind that. But they are all a glowy formula. So you can see there are some, I wouldn't quite say it's like shimmery. There's no like micro glitter, but it's definitely glowy. So let's go ahead and apply these to the face. We will do all 5 shades. We're going to start off with the shade Curvy, and let me read the description of this particular shade. So Curvy is described as a perfect peach, and we are just going to apply. It's very, very creamy. I should mention also their formulas are really, really creamy. So whereas the like Basma ones were a little bit stiffer, these are really, really creamy. So just be careful when applying because it can be easy to apply based on how creamy they are. So let's go ahead and blend out. Oh, it is so pretty, so illuminating. Just really gives a beautiful lit from within glow. This reminds me of clips of people on TikTok and Instagram who are taking the Rare Beauty liquid blush and then adding in the Rare Beauty illuminator, mixing it together. This is kind of that effect in my opinion. So pretty. There's no micro glitters, no shimmers. It's just a really pretty lit from within glowy blush. So again, this is the shade Curvy. Next up, let's do the shade Unfazed. Also, don't let the colors scare you. Like, they look really, really dark and bright in the actual tube, but once you apply them, I find they blend out so well you don't need to be scared. But I also haven't tried this color yet. So this shade Unfazed is a Berry Plum. I'm gonna be really careful with this one. And I'm just going to apply a little bit. And we will see how this one blends out. I probably should have been even more careful. Ooh, it's still blending out really well. Definitely applied more than I should have. So this one you do want to be careful, but that's still a very wearable color. Oh, so pretty. I feel like this product would also be really good if you wanted to underpaint with it because, I don't know, with the formula, I think this would look really nice if you wanted to underpaint and then apply your complexion product on top. Okay, yeah, definitely too much. Giving clown mode, but that was user error. You just got to be more careful when applying those deeper shades. So this is the shade Unfazed. Next up, we have the shade Bubbly, and Bubbly is described as a soft pink. It looks a little bright to me, not really like a soft pink, but we will see. I also think that for application for these, it'd probably be better to use a brush to pick up the product and then apply it. But, you know, whatever works. I just like applying it directly to my face for some reason, but for a better application, I think it makes more sense to apply to the brush because you can be way more controlled when blending it out. Oh, that is So what's so interesting is it looks pretty bright and like watermelony in the tube, but then once you blend it out, I would say it does blend out as a soft pink. So it looks like very bright and kind of scary in the swatch, but it blended out beautifully. So again, this is the shade Bubbly. Next, we have the shade Focused. And Focused is a warm cinnamon pink. I'm going to do a hand swatch for this one as well. Oh my god, it's so pretty. And it is just like it described. I would describe it as a warm cinnamon pink. Yeah, very accurate, apt description. We are going to apply on this side. Again, I keep applying it directly, even though I already explained that the better way is with a brush first, but we're just living life on the edge. I've also been filming for like 3 hours now of blush swatches and reapplying, so getting pretty lazy with my application technique. Ooh, so pretty. Applied too much, but whatever. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous, lit from within glow. And again, this is the shade Focused. We have one more list blush to go, and then we will move into the arm swatches. The last shade we have is Elite, and Elite is described as a mauve. It looks really berry toned and red in the packaging. Okay, nope, that is a mauve. That is definitely a mauve. It's on the deeper side, but it's mauve. So I'm going to be very careful when applying this time. I'm just going to do like a tiny little dot and then blend out. Oh, that was the perfect amount. So this is the shade Elite. Okay, now I'm going to insert arm swatches of the new LYS stick blushes, and then I'll insert like a couple shades, 1 or 2 shades of the matte formula from LYS so you can really see the difference in those finishes. So here are those arm swatches. Here we have the LYS blushes. They're in the weird triangle shape just because that was the easiest way to swatch them. So going from left to right, so we have Bubbly, Unfazed, Focused, Curvy, Elite, and then here I just swatched a random shade of the Satin Matte blushes just so you can see the difference in the formula. It doesn't have that same glow that the stick ones do. Okay, another blush launch that I did a whole video on, but I do want to bring them up here because they are a new launch. And those are the new shades of the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder blushes. I did a whole video. We'll have that linked up here for you to be able to watch if you want. And they released, was it 3? Yes, 3 new shades of the Double Take Cream blushes or cream powder blushes, where you get the powder and then the cream here. I will go ahead and just apply one of them right now to kind of remind myself of the formula so I can speak to it in this lineup, but I recommend watching my full video. And the way that Patrick Ta recommends applying his blushes, if you don't know, is he actually recommends applying powder first and then going in with the cream on top. And something I really like about this formula is each of the products really work beautifully on their own. So if you want to, you really can just wear the powder blush, or you can obviously intensify it and layer it up. But I do feel like it does serve multiple purposes and you can get a lot of uses out of it because you can get two very distinct, in my opinion, looks. So this is not too much with just the powder on. And now we're going to intensify with the cream. And also, by the way, this brush, definitely pick it up during the Sephora sale. This brush is fantastic. Okay, now I'm going in with the cream and just intensifying that. It gives it a little bit more of a glow. It just adds more color. I would say that his cream blushes, I was going to say they're actually stiff, but they're not. I lied. They're not stiff. I just touched them and they're very, very creamy. Okay, so here is not too much, layered fully with both products. Okay, we are down to the final two blush formulas to talk about. We made it. We made it. We made it. Most importantly, my cheeks made it. Okay, so the second to last formula we are going to talk about is the Winky Luxe Cheeky Rose Liquid Blush. These launched around like a month ago from Winky Luxe. They retail for $19. They come in 4 shades. And this is the packaging. They come with this like dipper, very similar to, I believe, like She Glam makes blushes that are really popular. So very similar packaging. I also love that there's a little rose at the top. The shade I picked up is lovely, and this formula is just that. It is a very lovely formula. I love, because of the packaging, how controlled you can be with your application. I love that. You can really be careful with how you place it, and then it's very, very blendable. So I'm just gonna go in and blend, blend, blend. It's a really pretty, I would say it's a soft matte formula. It's very subtle. You can build it up, but with just those 2 dots, it gives me a really nice, subtle, kind of barely there blush look. I also want to mention that they came out with bronzers, and the bronzers are fantastic, but we will have to wait for, I need to do a bronzer video soon because there's so many new bronzers. But I did want to mention that the bronzer is great too. So this formula is really, really pretty. And I feel like these are very underhyped and more people need to be discovering these. I will also go ahead and show you what it looks like swatched out on my hand so you can get a better idea of what the shade Lovely looks like. And it is just a really pretty pinky peach. Okay, now for the final blush. I caved, you guys. I caved and I got one of the Milk Makeup internet breaking cooling water jelly tints. If somehow you were, I don't know, if somehow you were in outer space when these launch and you don't know about these, let me tell you a little bit more about them. I'm gonna have it pulled up on the Sephora app. These are probably sold out. I feel like these were sold out for a while. Yeah, there's one shade in stock, but these are from Milk Makeup. They retail for $24 and they are a long-lasting blush and lip stain with a hydrating bouncy jelly texture that glides on for a sheer buildable burst of color that lasts all day. Okay, so let's talk about the product itself. As you can see, it looks like jelly, which is really cool. However, thankfully there were other people before me who used the product that I can learn from. The claim that it's buildable, I would say, is absolutely false. once you place the product, it's kind of there. So you don't want to swipe it on your cheeks directly. You're going to want to use a brush to apply it. So thank you for all of those who came before me and shared that PSA, that is how you are going to want to apply it, or else you will look ridiculous. So the way I have been applying it and using it is taking the BK Beauty brush, kind of rubbing my brush across it, and then placing it, and then you have to move fast. It's not a forgiving formula because it is a stain and it starts staining quite quickly. And that is why we saved this one for last, because I just had a feeling that it's going to be a lot harder to remove this than the other blushes. Okay, so here we are with the shade Burst. I'm also going to swatch it for you on my hand. I mean, knowing that it's never going to leave my hand. But this is Burst on my hand. Now let's talk about these. So I went in thinking I would hate this product because it was so hyped, and I don't hate it. I think it's fine, but I think it's a lot of fuss for just a mediocre product. It did last all day when I did wear it. It does have really good lasting power, but I just feel like you have to be so careful when applying it that it's something I would shy away from. I think it's cool, it's fun if you want to play around with a different texture, but I think like the idea of it is much better than it is in reality. Like, it's fine, it's pretty, but I don't know, I just feel like when I wear it and when I apply it, I'm so scared I'm going to over apply or mess it up, and then all of my makeup will be ruined. Also, on the lips, I don't like this on the lips. I wore it on my lips, and I think it's just because of the applicator. It was really hard to apply it precisely, and it kind of just like looked like I was a kid who ate a popsicle, and it wasn't that messy, but I didn't love it. I don't know, like, I don't hate this product. I'm not going to recommend that you like go out and rush to buy it. But I'm not mad I picked it up. I don't know. I think it's just because it is so cool and it is so different with that jelly texture that's why I'm leaning towards liking it. But the actual like formula and product itself, like how it actually looks, it's just okay. Like, it's nice, but I don't know. I know I'm going back and forth. This one's a tough one. This one's a tough one. Okay, now that we've gone through all of those reviews, I want to do some awards. With the exception of like one or two of these blushes, these all are thumbs up for me, and I didn't think that would be as useful. So instead, I'm going to give out little awards to every single blush. So that will help give you an idea of like what the big takeaway is of the blush, and if it is a blush you want to add to your list. So the first award I want to give out is I'm trying to think of how to word this, but this award is going to be an affordable blush that performs super high end. And that award goes to the r.e.m. Beauty Satin Matte Blushes. These performed just as well as the Guerlain ones, and they're only $20. The shade range is fantastic. They're super silky. They're blendable, they're blurring, they're flattering, and these are just such an impressive launch, especially because they're only $20. The next award I'm going to give out is the biggest disappointment of the blushes. And for me, it's a bigger disappointment just because I had high hopes. It's not like the worst blush ever, but the one that disappointed me the most is the Nudestix SPF Blush, because I was so excited. I love SPF products, but this one was just okay for me. It was a little messy, and the Ciele one is just so much better. The next award I want to give out is one that honestly just surprised me the most. So this award is for the blush that surprised me the most, and that is the Polite Society Matte Cream Blushes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Truly has that cream to powder finish. Very blendable, very flattering. I definitely will be picking up more shades. So this is the award for the blush that surprised me the most. The next award I'm going to give out goes to the Guerlain blushes, and that is the most overpriced product for what it is. So the most overpriced product goes to the Guerlain blushes. They're beautiful, but the packaging's mediocre. They're scented, and I just feel like the r.e.m. blushes performed just as well, and those are $20 versus $55. So Guerlain takes home the cake for the most overpriced blush. The next award is going to be for the most overhyped blush, and that is for the blush that broke the internet, the Milk Makeup Jelly Tints. You saw me going back and forth about them. They're okay, they're kind of fun, but they're fussy to use. You have to be so careful with them, and they don't look great on the lips in my opinion. So this one is definitely the most overhyped blush of the bunch. In contrast, I want to talk about the most underhyped blush in my opinion, because I feel like I have only seen a few YouTubers, like maybe Jen Phelps and a couple others, talking about these, but those Winky Luxe blushes, these are absolutely beautiful. They're $19. The packaging's gorgeous, the formula is gorgeous, and I just feel like these are really underhyped and these deserve to go viral. The next award I want to give out is to the best true multitasking blush, and that would be to the Kaja Dewy Bar blush. As I mentioned in my review, these truly look amazing on both the lips and cheeks. This is the one of the first multi-use products where I feel like if this came in a lip product alone, I would be obsessed with the lip product. The next award I want to give out is to the most beginner-friendly blush. So this is a blush that I think is perfect for anyone, no matter your skill level, and that is the Basma blushes. Because they are kind of sheer and buildable, it's really hard to mess up the application. You really can't go wrong with these, and then the formula is just fantastic, but definitely the best blush in my opinion for beginners. Next, I want to give out the award for the most innovative of the blushes that I reviewed and that have been released recently, and that has to be the Ciele blush. This formula is just fantastic, and the fact that it has 50 SPF in it and still performs as good as any of my favorite liquid blushes says a lot. So definitely the most innovative of the blush launches. The next blush is one that lives up to the hype. So we had overhyped, underhyped, one that just lives up to the hype and is just consistently fantastic. The Patrick Ta formula. I mean, these are great, they're beautiful, live up to the hype, worth every penny in my opinion, especially because you're getting two products in one. And the last award I'm going to give out is the award for what I think is the best blush formula for spring and summer. And that to me has to go to the LYS Beauty ones because of that glow. I feel like having that added glow is such a beautiful look for spring and summer, when you have a little bit of a tan, when you're in the sun and you can really catch that glow, etc. So this is a formula I'm definitely going to be pulling out and using as we head into the warmer months here in Seattle, which won't be for a while. Thank you so much for sticking through this extremely long video. I really appreciate it. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments below, like, if you like this type of format or if you prefer individual videos focused on individual product launches. I also want to mention that next week I will have my Sephora sale recommendations video going live. It'll go live before the sale starts, and then also the new Rare Beauty blushes come out next week. I will be getting those on the day they launch, and I will be getting a video up as quickly as possible to share my thoughts. If you are not already, please subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, and then if you found any of these reviews helpful and you decide to purchase any of these products, I would love if you shop my affiliate links down below. I do earn a small commission that helps support my channel. Thanks so much, and I will hopefully catch you in my next video.